half of these racist fans will watch the England games, they'll love Sterling, Rashford, all of these players, but I hate the black couple that live 2 doors down the road.
I'm sick and tired of seeing those faces get killed, because guess what? I see myself in them, and it's heartbreaking, man. I'm stopped.
To some people, black lives do not matter.
Sterling was subjected to alleged racist abuse. Members of the Dutch squad were subjected to racial abuse.
Are we going to allow racism to spread through our community?
Chelsea captain John Terry is to be charged with...
Players are hardened to racism, and I don't know what that says about our society.
You speak to black people in the cities and they said this is what we go through every day. It's not a surprise to us.
The abuse they suffered was so bad, it ruined their lives and careers.
It's hard to talk out against racism.
We need you to say something.
I'm fighting for the future for my future kids. I'm fighting for the future for my future grandchildren.
It's not blacks versus whites, it's everyone versus racism.
Sometimes it's hard with football because when you're playing, you're in the zone, you're in a trance, innit? It's like you could be playing in front of 60, 70, 80,000 people and you can't hear a thing.
Nothing, just block everything out.
All you can hear is your teammates and your manager.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've experienced more as I've got older rather than
younger.
When I was younger, yeah. I think the first one was, we was in Russia. I played for the England C team, so that's like the non-league England and whatever. There was a lot of black players in the team, and as soon as the boys would get the ball or whatever, you'd hear the monkey chants and whatever, and that was the first one, but like, I don't know, it was weird because like, I just kind of laughed it off, just thinking, you lot are so stupid, like, and I think that's the first time I remember experiencing it. I remember my mum telling me about, I had it when I was a kid, like when I was 8 playing.
Damn.
I think the next one I remember was like Millwall away, and they were the worst. They were shouting all sorts of things, even to the physio who was bald, like saying things to him, like shouting "leukemia boy" and
I don't
things
understand
like
why
this.
that's necessary though. I haven't been racially abused when I've been playing, to be fair, but I don't know how to deal with it. Because I was thinking maybe I'll walk like off the pitch or I'll confront them, but I don't know.
I think until I hope you don't, but if you did experience it, I think it'd be a thing how you take it at the time.
Yeah.
Because I've just said, like, if it's one person shouting it, then you know how to point out who that person is.
When
it's the whole crowd, it's a completely different situation.
So different. I won't say I'm preparing myself, but I am, just to see that I need to get used to it. I need to react the right way, because if I don't react the right way, then I could lose my career.
Yeah, I think you got to, just because you'll be the one that loses in the end. You know what I mean?
Deal with that straight away, the disgusting racist messages that Wilfried Zaha received.
Social media is one of those places that I think they should have more accountability. You should need a passport, an address, some form of ID.
Back in the day, they were physical slaves. I think our generation were mental slaves, because we got social media. Like you can openly be abused, like Pogba, Rashford. So I've been racially abused once, and I was on holiday. So I was doing my running, and someone threw a rock at me, called me a I was just like it surprised me, this Napa.
Yeah.
It surprised me because it's the first time I ever. But like, it is what it is, get on with the day, because I'm not going to see that person again.
Yeah, it's the perception we've got. If you go somewhere and you do well, you're loved.
Yeah. But if you do bad,
the time you do bad,
you
hate. That is just the be all and end all. And being black is even worse. That's when all these things start to come out. Half of these racist fans will watch the England games. They'll love Sterling, Rashford, all of these players, but I hate the black couple that live 2 doors down the road and be racist to them.
That's true.
And that goes back to decades and decades ago, and that's how it was in slavery, and that, because if you could play, if you had a talent, you could play the flipping guitar or piano or sing or whatever. They looked after, because you're entertaining them. People just listen. These people, that half of them don't even know they're racist.
Literally.
They don't even know it.
Literally.
But like, I've always had this big thing now of my Twitter. I don't look at my comments on Instagram, and I don't check my messages or look my name up or anything. I used to do that when I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
And when it's going good, it's good to read, but when it's bad, it's, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you could go through 100 comments and see 2 bad ones, and that'll be the ones that stay in your head. You just gotta have your values about you, and have the people around you that you trust, and the ones that, the only opinions that matter are the ones that are around you, and that's it. And if they tell you something different, then you have to listen. Because
my social media is not as big as yours, but like, I don't really see it as much, but if I go on the Explore page, I'll see like racism, like if someone gets racially abused, like it will come up and stuff. But I haven't experienced where someone sent me a text and called me something, so just gotta prepare for it.
No, it's true. And we had a lot of it when the boys, when we beat Wolves in the FA Cup semi-final, we had a lot of it. And we found out who the guy was and everything, and nothing happened to him. So he was just like, what's the point?
What's the point, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know exactly who the guy is, whatever. So you, the police, are not doing nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
But then if I took it into my own hands to sort it out,
and
then I'd be the one that gets in trouble.
But now it's in your hands, you don't want to do anything.
I just think, a lot of it with social media and that, I think, as your profile grows or whatever, have someone look after it and all that, because you know what, when you're at home and whatever, that's your life, innit? And I said it to my missus as well. I said, you know what, if it gets too bad and you can't handle it, you have to come off it. It's as simple as that. It's the simplest solution ever, because we grew up without social media. Like, when we was younger, we can get rid of it. The only thing we had was MSN. I don't know, you probably won't remember that. So it was like a messenger thing on a laptop. You could only go on your computer to do it. And that's how you'd talk to people. So you'd have to be at home on there. Yeah, and then I think we had a thing called MySpace. But again, we only had these things and it was private, so the only people on there are your friends.
Your friends.
You know what I mean? I've only had my Instagram public for about a year and a bit now, and I much preferred it when it was private. Just because I only had the people that I knew that was on there, and I could just do what I wanted, post what I wanted. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a healthy thing at all.
It's true, because it's fake. Like, it's affecting your real life. I've been injured for about 2 years, so like I've been through a phase where I'll delete Instagram for like 3 months, and then I'll just get it back. But then I'll delete it again, and then I'll just get it back. Even the other day, I was thinking about deleting it.
It's addiction. It's a slight addiction, isn't it?
It's literally addiction. Like, you want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see what you've missed. It's like, it's easy to get a voice, but the wrong people are getting the voices. And social media is a platform for racism, and you see it a lot. But I feel like because of the steps that we're taking now, like, we're only going to get bigger, and we're only going to get accepted in more areas.
Being involved with football, we was always told if you show feelings, then it's a sign of weakness.
Always got to be tough, always got to be strong, always got to be doing, getting it right and all that stuff. There's a lot of male pressure.
I didn't want to give away my feelings too much. I was never too open or free to want to speak.
But actually, it's a sign of strength.
Unless you grow up where kind of areas we grew up, you might be taught different, but I feel like us, it's like, right, you gotta be strong. You gotta be able to look after yourself. You gotta be all these things as a man, innit? So you grow up hard-headed and stubborn and whatever. And my area, I used to get beaten. My dad used to beat me, and that, you know what I mean? And this is normal. Like, I'm not traumatized from it. This is like a normal thing. You did something wrong,
you get beat.
Like, because my granddad used to take me football from the age of probably 7 or 8. He obviously passed away. And he was obviously like a dad to me, and the one person who always looked after me and had my back. So losing him that's the hardest thing I've had to go through. And obviously I was young. And obviously it's only now that I'm at this age where I probably realise how much a father figure means. So when I lost that, you ain't got really no one to answer to or to talk to in terms of advice and channeling you into doing certain things. And
right
things are going wrong, how to deal with it, because I think especially in our industry now where we play football, it's no one really gets it. You know what I mean? So it's hard to
speak.
Yeah, exactly. Especially as you get older as well, because football ain't gonna last forever.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's having someone older and wiser to kind of guide you and
advise you.
Yeah, exactly. Through the path of what life is, because school don't teach it and you don't just know it. You know what I mean? Especially in the areas that we come from, we're not taught things like that. We don't know no different.
I've never lost someone from my family in my life, but my dad left and he used to take me football all the time. He used to watch my games. The biggest loss I took, I was 15. It's like 4 days before my birthday, and one of my friends died. He got stabbed 16 times. So from that, you know how it goes. Your friend gets stabbed, he dies. You want to see who find the person that does it and stuff. But luckily, my cousin, I'm real close to my cousin. He's about 10 years older than me. He's from the same area, so he was just telling me, like, you got talent, like, just don't do anything stupid.
I don't think a lot of people understand, like, I like talking about this because people don't get that what you've gone through is like, it's traumatizing.
Literally.
You know what I mean? And people react different to trauma. We don't get help, it's just like, so what, someone died, whatever. But you don't understand that the life that it goes, like, you're angry, whatever, and you got a choice to make, and it's not an easy choice. You don't just decide to do that, because if you see that guy the next day, then
what's gonna happen?
Exactly. So
even a month after my first friend died, there was a 14-year-old boy called CJ. So he was the same area as me, grew up with him, played with him. He got shot in the head. So I think from that, I just took it as a warning that I shouldn't be doing this. I just stick with football. And like a year after that, I got signed for Wolves.
Yeah.
So it's like a message. So.
Exactly, but then you've got kids out there that haven't got that path that we've taken.
It's true.
That can't play football, that can't do certain things, so their means to an end could be retaliating.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the time happens. A lot of these kids now, they're in a state of like fight or flight kind of thing where they're struggling at home, they've got no money, whatever. The only thing to do is sell drugs, which creates more problems than it needs. And then it just becomes a vicious cycle, innit? So they need that help, and it's hard to advise them unless you're actually speaking with them like daily. It's a process that happens over
time.
Yeah, it's not just one night, you know what I mean? So it's hard. I know a lot of them in Wolves and that, and their heads have gone. And it's, to try and speak to them, like, I've one conversation, it's near nothing possible, you know what I mean?
For me, it's always been about what's next. What's going to happen now?
Sick of the talk, sick of the knees, sick of the t-shirts. This has to come from the government.
Now is the time to get the government's knee off the neck of the Black, African, Caribbean, Asian, minority ethnic community.
I think there should be more done than taking a knee. Like, I think before the game, someone should come and speak about what's happening, why they're taking a knee, or while they're taking a knee, someone should be speaking about it, so the world knows.
It's a start, I suppose, because the Premier League and whatever have taken notice and allowed it to happen. And there still are. But like you said, you're right, there needs to be more still. I feel like that it is slowly fading now. We can't keep quiet, because that's what they want. They want it to have it, like, to make us have our phase and then just die out and never be spoken about again. But everything will just go back to normal within a couple of years if that happens. So we have to keep speaking up.
I feel like before the movement, I was speaking about, like, not too much, because I've never, like, personally been exposed to racism, but, like, I've seen it happen. So I've had a say, but I haven't had, like, a big say in it. So I feel like now that everything's happening, like, I have more exposure to it, and I know what's going on. I feel like I have more to say towards it. Because we can expose racism now, it's going to be way different to your generation, because we've got social media, we've got better camera qualities and everything. So as soon as something happens, we can retweet it straight like that.
So I think you lot are the future, innit? Like, and if we're gonna break this mold of the racism and the generational wealth, then it starts with people like us as well. And then the youngsters coming up, you're the future, what's next to come. So this is why my generation needs to try and teach your generation and lower and so on and so on. It needs to keep filtering down and filtering down. It's more about the younger generation coming through because we're at a stage now where it's them that we've got to worry about because it's too far, the gap's too big to bridge in the short space of time that we're going to be here. So it's just trying to make change for them coming up so they don't have to live through it and they get an equal opportunity.